Hello and welcome to my channel, The Danish Readaholic. Today I'm once again reading the first line of 10 different books to pick whatever book I need to add to my TBR for next month. So this month I have picked the 10 books from my Fairy Loot shelves. So all of them are books that I have gotten in either Fairy Loot subscriptions or that I have bought from Fairy Loot. All of them are the first book in a series, and if it's not in a series, then it's a standalone, so it's always the first book. And I think without further ado, I should just get started. The first book we have is Master of One by Jada Jones and Danny Bennett. And I've had this, well, ever since we got it in the Fairy Loot, and I think that was December last year, so almost a year. And I really want to read it, so let's see what I think. Tom and Hale of House Ever Loyal was going to die before the sun rose. It wasn't as heroic as it sounded. It was a lonely, terrible thing, made worse by the lonely, terrible knowledge weighing on his chest, the secret he'd uncovered. Strong start. Very, very strong start. Wow. I've only read one book now, but to be honest, I think Master of One is a really, really good contender. So let's see if the others can do better. Next up, we have Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. This is one of the more recent ones. This was actually on my most anticipated books of the year because I know that it is based on, I think it's just called The Wild Swans by Hans Christian Andersen, which is my favorite Hans Christian Andersen story, or at least one of them. I have two. Let's see what we think of the first paragraph, first line. The bottom of the lake tasted like mud, salt, and regret. The water was so thick it was agony keeping my eyes open. But thank the great gods I did. Otherwise, I would have missed the dragon. Excuse me. Oh no, this is gonna be worse than last time. I'm 2 books in and I don't know what to do. I think I am gonna go for second place for Six Crimson Cranes. And don't ask me to explain why, because I don't know. Let's just move on, shall we? Next one is Lore by Alexandra Bracken. And I haven't been excited about this book, actually. And I kind of want to be. So I'm hoping that by reading the first line here that I will get a little bit more hyped. He woke to the feeling of rough ground beneath him and the stench of mortal blood. His blood was slower to recover than his mind. Unwelcome sensations burned through him as his skin tightened like newly fired clay. When I compare it to the other ones that I've already read for this challenge, I'm gonna have to put it on third place because for me, the other ones were a little bit more intriguing. I am more interested in it than I was before, but for this, Master of One and Six Crimson Cranes are still ahead. The next one we have is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. Again, one that I wasn't really that excited about when I got it, and then now that I have kind of heard people talk more about it and seen what people think online, I'm a little bit more hyped. Death arrived at twilight. The little girl was down by the river picking jerry berries with her younger brother. The father crouched at the icy water's edge, replenishing his supply of aloeweed. The soothing gel would be needed later, given how many thorns had dug into her flesh. But she could barely feel the pain, thinking instead of the supper that awaited them. I'm gonna have to put it on the third place, because I'm still more intrigued by Six Crimson Cranes and Master of One, but this is definitely, or at least to me, more intriguing than Lore. Next up, we have Beast of Prey, which I think was actually in the Fairy Loot box for September. So it's a recent one that we've gotten, and also an additional book, which is why it is a paperback. Bubba says only wicked things happen after midnight, but I know better. I hold my breath, relieve the front door doesn't creak as I nudge it open, and relish the evening breeze on my skin. This light, its scent is distinct, a sharp blend of ozone and pine. It's going on a 5th place. I wasn't that intrigued by it. The story itself intrigues me, but this line just doesn't. Next up, we have The Bright and the Pale by Jessica Rubinkovsky. This one I'm actually really intrigued about, so I'm gonna be heartbroken if I'm not intrigued by the first line, but you know what, I'm gonna read it anyways, but we'll see. The knock at my door can mean only one of 2 things. I've finally been discovered and should prepare for my immediate shipment to to a turma, a prison in the middle of a freezing wasteland, or I've got another mission. Neither sounds appealing. You know what? For some reason, that sounds more intriguing to me than the dragon thing, so it is definitely above 6 Crimson Cranes, but let me just check out Master of One again. You know what? I'm gonna put it at first place. Next up, we have Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer. I have absolutely no expectations for this. I do not know a damn thing. Let's see how well it does. The hardest part of this job isn't the stealing, it's the escaping. At best, it takes me 2 minutes to scale the wall out of the royal sector. But the night is cold and my fingers are starting to go numb. Interesting. I get this, I get similar vibes to The Bright and the Pale, but not as intriguing to me for some reason. So it is going actually on a second place. Moving on to Fire with Fire by Destiny Soria. Another one of Fairy Loot books, as I mentioned. And also a book that I am really, really excited for. If she were a litigious sort of person, Dani was reasonably certain she could have had her best friend charged with attempted murder. Thomas drove like he was trying to kill them both, with one hand on the wheel and the other stuck out the open window, like an invitation for a wayward motorist to amputate. I am gonna have to put this quite far down. I'm not happy about it, but that first sentence or first paragraph didn't really do much for me. It is going on a 5th place. We are almost at the finish line. The next book is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Let's see what we think. I don't think this book needs any further introduction. I'm pretty sure everyone knows. They found Finley the Eve just outside Blood Forest, dead. I looked up from my cards and across the crimson-painted surface of the 3 men sitting at the table. I'd chosen this spot for a reason. I'd felt nothing from them as I drifted between the crowded tables earlier. No pain, physical or emotional. That doesn't give me anything. I'm sorry, it doesn't really intrigue me that much, at least not when I compare it to the top runners for this. I'm gonna have to say that I feel similarly about this as I did Fire with Fire. And I think that the stuff that I already know about this book compared to Fire with Fire is what is gonna put this ahead of Fire with Fire. So I know it's not completely based on the first line, but you know what? It's going on 5th place, so it doesn't really have a chance to get on my TBR anyways. The final book, and also a book that I kind of have high hopes for, is These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. If you've seen the Fairy Loot unboxing for that must have been August, you know that I am pretty excited about this book. So hopefully it lives up to that. Cool shadows wash over my sweaty skin, welcoming me, disguising me. I could revel in the darkness, happily lie under the stars and let the night air unravel my knotted, overworked muscles. But I don't waste tonight on rest or fleeting pleasure. These are the hours of spies and thieves. They're my hours. Ooh. Okay, we're between these two now. We're between The Bright and the Pale and These Hollow Vows. They, again, give me similar vibes. They really, really do. So let me read The Bright and the Pale again and see what I think. Depending on how I do in this month's TBR, I am actually debating adding both. Also because I feel like The Bright and the Pale isn't that long, so I might be able to do that. What I am gonna do is that I am gonna put officially These Hollow Vows on my TBR. Unofficially, and if I remember, I'm gonna add The Bright and the Pale by Jessica Rubinkovsky because I am actually really, really excited about this book. I think that was it for this video. I don't know why I keep doing these because I get so stressed out because I don't know how to rank them and I don't know what I'm actually going for other than my gut feeling. And I don't know. Because something can sound really, really intriguing to me, but then something else that isn't really that intriguing is more intriguing to me, which makes no sense. Even when I say it out loud, it makes no sense. So there's that. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know actually if you have any suggestions as to which books I should add to this for next month, because you could probably guess by now that I am gonna do this again. If not December, then I am gonna do it in January. But you can go check out my Goodreads, see what kind of books I have, and because I am not allowed to buy any, so you can leave suggestions as to what books on my physical TBR that I should add to this next month. Maybe it's something that you've read, maybe it's something from previous versions of this little game that I'm doing that you thought I should give another try, and then with new books to fight. Just any kind of suggestions as to what to read next. If you like this video, please hit the like icon, and if you want to see more of my bookish content, then please, hit that little subscribe button. And also, if you want to be notified every single time that I post, you can hit that little bell icon, and then I will just be so happy. And until I see you next time, bye!